All right, welcome in. It is Friday. It is time for another episode of Total Bases. We've got we do have the full slate. Everyone back in action today. The final week, the final weekend before some time off, the All-Star break. This is always a weekend that potentially gets a little dicey for some of these teams. They have hit the home stretch. It's either the last road trip or they're back home, and they are 3 days away from getting some time off, or I guess going to the Phillies for the All-Star game. But the vast majority of these guys have a little vacation in their future. And sometimes that creeps into how these games go. So it's something that we have to note, and it's something that we'll be talking about throughout the show. Before we get into it, though, Bryan, Leonard, how was your Thursday?
Didn't have anything big. 3 small plays, not 1 and 2. But still, number one the last 3 days, number one over the last month at WagerTalk. And like today's card better than yesterday. Yesterday, I had a hard time picking anything that I really liked. Luckily, we won our part of the parlay, I believe. It's a day that I'm going to have bigger plays going today. I don't force a lot of big plays. There's a lot of people in the or there's one guy in the forum talked about 5%, didn't know what he was talking about. So probably going to have a 4 today, but we'll see how it goes. But I like the card better than I did last night.
Well, Bryan, I got to thank you for making my Thursday better, because honestly, if your argument for the Guardians was so compelling that as soon as we got off the show, I added that to my client card. Of course, if you watched yesterday's show, you got the other client play for free. Baltimore Orioles, probably the first time all year they've gotten a big hit late to end up winning a game. So I had a nice 2-0 day yesterday, Orioles Guardians. And I do have a 5% play up today. And WagerTalk gave me a coupon. So it's just 1 day only. Add 30, and it gets you 30% off anything on my page that is today only. And it works on the 5% play. It also works on anything that has me in it. So if you want to use the double play, it works on that as well. Tokyo Brandon, how was your Thursday? And anything you didn't have any KBO this morning. I think we just hit the All-Star break there. So how'd Thursday go for you?
Went 3-1. I also was on the Orioles. I was on the Red Sox. I was on the Rangers, and I lost the Rays. So I went 3-1. The Rangers that was a crazy one, up 6-1, gave it up, and then came back and won it at the end. I'm number one the last 7 days at WagerTalk, but don't have as many crowns as Bryan at the moment. But yeah, last 7 days, I'm number one among the 33 cappers. So it's going good. Things are going to calm down a little bit now that the All-Star game's approaching, but well, we were talking before the show. We might come on Sunday. We'll see.
Yeah, we're going to have a little gap in programming, of course. No games Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We probably won't do a show on Thursday with only the 1 game Mets Phillies. So it's in the works. We're going to see if we can get you a Sunday show this week to make up for it. We've got enough people here now. First couple minutes of the show now, it really does take some time to populate and get viewers in. So we like to sort of do our promotion and our recap at the beginning, and then we get into the games. Feature game tonight, Apple TV. This is kind of a huge series. It's going to be Red Sox Mets. Bryan, Leonard, like, you look at these records and you're like, well, this might not be the biggest game of the night, but then you realize, like, sort of what's at stake for both of these teams this weekend, and then what's at stake for both of these teams in the coming weeks. One of these teams, really, they both could play their way out. Someone could play their way in. This is kind of a huge series right here. Sonny Gray, Nolan McLean, how do you see Red Sox Mets?
Yeah, we're getting 2 teams that their fans have been very disappointed with their season, but they're both coming in on a winning streak. 6 in a row for the Red Sox, 2 in a row for the Mets. I like both these pitchers, obviously. They're very good. They're both righties, and McLean's about a 123 favorite, 7.5 on the total. Sonny Gray is a guy I like to bet on, especially when I can get him as an underdog. But McLean is the one guy in this Mets rotation that has the ability to really dominate. He's facing a guy or a team in the American League that doesn't see him very often. and him being the young player, I think that's a little bit of an advantage there. So I don't know if I'm going to get involved with this one. Let me just take a quick look at my cheat sheet on this one and see what I'm coming up with. But it's a game that should have some pretty good pitching. Expect both pitchers really go 6 innings. Neither one walks a lot, so I lean with Boston. Probably aren't going to get there with anything.
Tokyo Brandon, my first gut here was that runs might be at a premium. And, I see that. So we always talk about key numbers when it comes to totals. Like for me, there's no more key number than when you're betting it under and you can get a 7.5 as opposed to a 7. And when I pulled up this morning and said, 7.5 minus 110, these are two really good pitchers. I kind of felt like this should have been under 7. I see value on the under. Anything for you on the total or the side?
I got both of these teams hitting top 10 though, guys. I mean, I don't know. I would be a little cautious about betting an under here. I got the Mets hitting 10 in current form and the Red Sox hitting 9 in current form. But the Red Sox bullpen is outperforming the Mets currently. And I got both pitchers kind of even. If you look at the head-to-head, you're right. Nolan McLean has not seen these guys, and usually when you're fresh, seeing a pitcher for the first time, it's usually advantage pitcher, not always, but usually. And Sonny Gray's numbers against these batters, not the best, but they're not horrible. But I like Sonny Gray a lot, actually. I've got both of these pitchers ranked. I curve my pitchers on a scale of 30, and I've got both of these guys 7 or better. So it means they're in the top third echelon of all starting pitchers. So yes, good hitting, good pitching, and one bad bullpen for the Mets. So I guess I would lean Red Sox. If I had to play it, I would probably take the Red Sox.
Tokyo Brandon, that is a good point. I think my initial reaction to the Mets hitting well lately was, they played a beer league softball game on Tuesday night that finished 16-12. But you know what? You're really not wrong about, they had the Braves series, for example, 10 runs followed by a 7-6 win. And then they scored 7 runs and 6 runs respectively the last couple nights. This is an offense that it really had underachieved. They get Francisco Lindor back. Juan Soto finally looking like the guy that he's supposed to be. So I actually think you make a good point there, and I think you sort of have me gravitating maybe more toward the Mets than the under in this play in this situation. Of course, we talked about both teams had really nice series, but for me here, where this is currently priced, I really like McLean. I'm a big Nolan McLean guy. Like I've been high on him since before he even got up to the big leagues. I think I maybe lean Mets, but it is a tricky game. Definitely going to be probably one of the more competitive games. And my numbers still say 7.3 runs. So I still lean toward the under. Someone complimented my hat. Thank you. I don't know why I felt sort of inclined to color coordinate my outfit today, but I saw this shirt. I was like, let me go grab a hat that matches it. This is, of course, a Myrtle Beach Pelicans hat that is single A for the Cubs. Great little ballpark down there in Myrtle Beach. So thank you for the compliment on the hat. All right, Mark Martin, let's go back to the chat. He says he's got Astros first 5 last night, minus 131. Bryan, I'll go back to you. The Astros playing better ball, even though they did drop 2 of 3 in the series with the Nationals. I still think it's fair to say that they've played like much better of late. And I thought they played pretty good in that series. The games that they lost were kind of back and forth. Of course, they had a crazy game in that series that they lost 12-11. They go to the Rangers tonight, little Lone Star State battle to finish the first half. Astros, Rangers, couple teams right around 500 that really could use a good weekend. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, he's Brown's going against Quantrill here, a couple of righties. We're looking at about a 135 favorite for Houston. Total either 8.5 under or 8 to the over. Usually at Texas, you see a lot of 7.5s. I think because it got Quantrill on the mound, it's been jacked up a little bit, and I'm not so sure. Quantrill is a guy who has been able to pitch pretty well in good pitching ballparks. He pitched pretty well when he was in Cleveland. He looked pretty good the other day for Texas. So to get an 8.5 here is a little bit high. I'm looking at the Houston bullpen situation, and they look great right now. They had yesterday off, or yesterday and Wednesday they've had top 6 guys that hadn't pitched in a while. So I kind of like that. Obviously with Hunter Brown, he's not quite as good as he was earlier this season. It's going to take a while to get back from injury, but he's looking pretty good. And from an offensive standpoint, yeah, Houston's hitting a little bit better. They got a few guys right now. Christian Walker is a guy that's really busted back out this year after having a really terrible season the year before. Getting Diaz back at catcher has definitely helped the offense a little bit. So they're a little bit better offensively than they were before, but still, I think this line is a little bit too high in the totals department. You take a look at Texas; they don't have a single batter in the top 100. They've got one player that in the last week is hitting in 153rd. That's Ezekiel Duran. So they're not hitting right now, and they did have to use a bullpen day yesterday. So they had that going. So that's going to be a little bit of an effect. But if they can get a good outing, pretty decent outing out of Quantrill, I think this game goes under, and I'm leaning that way right now. Make sure you get the 8.5 as opposed to the 8. It's worth it. You can get 8.5 minus 110 or even lower out there right now.
Tokyo Brandon, I was a little disappointed here when I pulled the odds up this morning and saw, Astros had lost 2 of 3 in Washington. Hunter Brown kind of got rocked in his last start by the Rays. I kind of felt I was hoping to get a better price on the Astros because I still like Hunter Brown. He's still a guy. I know you've liked him historically. He obviously comes back and is coming off of an injury. So we have to take, he's not, I would say he's not back to being like full strength Hunter Brown yet. But I was surprised at sort of how inflated this price was on the Astros. How do you feel about that? Are the books like kind of ahead of the curve on this team? I feel like the books like the Astros right now.
Yeah, guys, you can get a double play 2 of your 3 favorite handicappers. That is 3 days for only $59. Huge discount. Adam's got his own special going on as well. There's lots to buy at WagerTalk right now. So go to wagertalk.com and give us a little support. That would be great. I think there is, Hunter Brown has elite stuff, but he hasn't shown it yet, as you guys both alluded to. Back from injury, maybe it'll take time. Maybe he won't find it. I don't know, but he's not exactly his dominant self right now. And I think there's an intrinsic bias against Cal Quantrill because he pitched for the Rockies and he was so bad when he was there. And now he's actually pitching really well. I never liked him, but man, these 2 teams, I have them dead even in this matchup today, despite Hunter Brown. Obviously, I don't think there's anyone who will say that Cal Quantrill is a better pitcher than Hunter Brown, but current performance, I got these guys dead even, and I've got both teams dead even. The only separator I see is Cal Quantrill has some pretty poor stats against the batters he's facing today in his history. But again, we don't know when those stats are from. I can't separate them year by year. I can just do his career. Could have been when he was in Colorado. But man, I got these 2 teams dead even. If anything, I might, when you're thinking about unders and 2 teams are really even, that 1.5 runs becomes really valuable. So I might take a 1.5 in this one because he's pretty sneaky good.
Yeah, I can't argue with the fact that he has been good. I think, listen, Cal Quantrill's been around for a long time. He's pitched for a lot more teams than just Colorado. He's kind of like, he's like one of these journeyman type pros that it's like, if you've got a spot on your roster, he's always going to be worth a roster spot. He's a pro. He goes out there, competes. You can put him in the bullpen. You can throw him in a starting spot. He'll have a career as pretty much as long as he wants one, just because of I think the competitor he is, and he's just a pro. Is he someone I'm not willing? Is he someone I'm worried about fading on like a game-to-game basis? No, not really. I think it's pretty well known what his ceiling is at this point. This is a scenario where the Rangers have some bullpen usage. So like, again, when I look at Quantrill, I look at him as sort of like part of the Rangers bullpen, even though they've used him as a starter at times, a starter more recently. And yeah, he could go, I looked at his last couple outings, 4 innings, 5 innings. Prior to that, he was coming out of the bullpen more of like a 2-inning type guy. I wouldn't be that surprised if the Rangers were in the bullpen by like the 4th or 5th here, or if they look and say, hey, we've had some usage from that Angels series. Maybe they do let Quantrill go a 3rd time through. I don't necessarily love that. But what I do kind of like is I think Hunter Brown's going to be fine. I'm willing to give him a pass on the bad start against the Miami Marlins, hottest team, or I'm sorry, the Rays, who are the other hottest team on planet Earth. Pretty much like, both of those teams just continue to win, continue to find ways to generate offense. Hunter Brown's going to be fine. And the Astros have a bullpen advantage here. They didn't play yesterday. One of the few teams that didn't have to play yesterday, because I think 26 of the teams were in action. So, Bryan, Leonard, what am I looking at for a money line? I don't think I'll ever get the price to play this for clients tonight, but this is going to be my parlay leg. I think the Astros are in a good spot here, and I just love the way that they've been playing of late.
I'd say 135.
Yeah, that's actually come down a little bit. That's I before we got on the show, it was more like minus 141, minus 145. That is again, it's not close enough for me to make it a client play just yet, but that's a good parlay leg. So I'll go Astros minus 135 for my leg of the parlay. And again, I'm just betting on Hunter Brown returning to being Hunter Brown at some point. And I also think the Astros have just played good ball of late, getting their bullpen arms back. That's a kind of a buy-on team for me right now. So we'll go the Astros for my parlay league.
Can you believe Cal Quantrill is only 31 years old? I thought he was like 51.
TB, it does feel like he's been around forever. I wonder if it's because we just grew up watching his dad. Like the Quantrill name has been in baseball for so long. I would have guessed
maybe he's
like
been
36.
on so many teams or something. So many teams, right? He was on Bryan's Guardians as well for a period of time. So maybe that's why too. Yeah, the lineage plus the hop around. He is an innings eater, like you said, for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a really good. I would have guessed he was like 35, 36 years old. You would have got me with that one for sure.
Why is it we continue to age and the players never do? I don't understand that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, some of these guys don't. Some of these guys are in their hot. I mean, I just turned 40, and like I know what my body feels like on a day-to-day basis, and then you still have like 40-year-olds going out and throwing every 5th day. It really is. It is something.
Here's a treat for the audience. We have one guy in his 40s, one guy in his 50s, and one guy in his 60s on this show now.
three different decades, 3 different life views, I suppose. Yeah. It's a great mix. I will. So, John, our home office wants me to clarify again. I will be done promoting you guys after today, because I have to promo you to death today. So the home office is not upset with me for they put this great 1-day sale out for me. I got to make sure you guys know about it. It is good on anything on my page. So you can use it on the 5% tonight. You should use it on the longer term stuff because you're getting 30% off. It's probably the best deal you'll have for anything longer term. And I don't know why people didn't know this, but I do football as well. I'm going to have a football show very similar to this on Sunday mornings with Rob Vino, who's my co-host for the basketball show. And last year in football, I went 40, 27, and 2 for 35.85 units. I play at lower volume, but I still win in football. And, we got football around the corner. We're going to be, Bryan Leonard, we're going to have preseason football here before we know it. And then all of a sudden it's going to be everyone's favorite week 0. Never understood that. I don't know why we have a week numbered 0, but college football is right around the corner as well. All right, let's head back to
week 0.
Week 0. I that you'll have to explain to me why we call something week 0. But anyway,
I mean, from the time you're born to the time you're 1 year old, I guess you're 0 years old as well. So I guess
that's a fantastic point, TV. Actually, that's probably as good as it could be explained. I think it's a great point. Yeah, well, really good point.
I'm full of it.
TV, I'm coming back to you. Adam says, good morning, guys. How about KC Baltimore? Baltimore minus 1.5. This is an interesting one because, of course, the Orioles, I felt like this was a do or die week for the Orioles. It played into my handicap of the Orioles the past couple days. They do get out with a win by the skin of their teeth. Gunnar Henderson, I mean, they can thank that was dicey in the ninth inning. Gunnar Henderson kind of maybe pushed someone off the bag and got a call to go his way. But nonetheless, the Orioles get the hit in the eighth inning, win a game that they desperately needed. I feel like this is a massive series this weekend for the Orioles. The Royals, again, continue to struggle. So how are you seeing this one? This is in Baltimore. Orioles, Royals. Orioles definitely look a little bit inflated, but I kind of like them here. Where are you going with this one, TB?
What I do is I look over the games and then I get my impression and then I run my numbers to see if my first impression was right. And on this one, my first impression was wrong because I actually like Young and I love fading Avila. But after I run my numbers, I did not realize that Kansas City in current form is top 10 and Orioles in current form are batting bottom 10. So to counter that, the Royals bullpen, I have them ranked 28 out of 30 right now, and I've got the Orioles bullpen ranked 11. So a lot of dichotomies and things that are canceling each other out on this. So I really don't know which way to go. Maybe I would consider. I can't back Avila though. I would consider going against the Orioles because they had an emotional win yesterday, but. No, I'm not going to do it. And I still like Young, despite my numbers having him ranked pretty low. So my numbers on a curve of 30 have him 18, so below average. But actually, when I watch him, he looks better than that. So I really don't know what to make of it. So maybe you guys can make more sense out of this.
I'll tell you what, Brian, I'll kick this one to you. But the thing with the Orioles that frustrates me to no end, I coached youth baseball back in the day for years at a high level. It was like 14, 15, 16-year-old at a given year. I'd have that age group. I never got upset with the kids for striking out, making an error, anything effort related. The only time I got upset was when it was like your head wasn't in the game or it was like a mental lapse that led to a mistake. And that is all this Orioles team does. It makes it super frustrating to watch them. There are so many times I've watched pretty much every minute of this Cubs series this week. Like this team just, they make so many mistakes where it's like, I think they're like focus related. I think they're just like not having good baseball sense. I talked about it yesterday where you get relievers that get 0-2 and then suddenly they're walking a guy, like little stuff like that. Don't think they're a great defensive team. And so even though I like them here, I like Young, I prefer Young to Avila. That type of stuff makes it tough for me to lay this kind of number with the Orioles.
The winds are blowing out a little bit here in Baltimore, expecting 14% more runs than normal, which is why you're seeing some 10.5s out there. I see anywhere from 9.5s to 10.5s this early in the morning here. We've got Young, basically a 150 favorite, and I mentioned the total. Kansas City is hitting very well right now. And I don't think the Baltimore staff is going to slow them down a little bit. Kansas City's had some decent players. I mean, you get your best players start to get hot. That's when you do well. It's like Soto right now. You mentioned Soto for the Mets. Soto's doing great right now, which is why the Mets are doing well. If he was to get into a slump night now, is there other guys on that Mets team that could pick him up? We will see. But yeah, I'm in agreement with TB here. I thought I was going to like Baltimore, but then I see the line in the 150 range and the way Kansas City's hitting. I can't lay that. And I went and looked at the first five because Young is an advantage over Avila. You're getting basically the same number. So if I'm looking at this game, I think you got to give at least a cursory look to Kansas City. There you can get 135 back at some places. So lean Kansas City here, but I agree. I like Young better than Avila. Yeah, Baltimore's not hitting, and we can get Kansas City's as well as they're hitting right now at plus money. Baltimore's not a dominant team. Baltimore's not anything more than a 500 ball club. So for them to be laying 150, I don't care if they're at home. That's a little high to me.
Speaking of a little high, like I don't disagree that there might be some offense in this game, but 10.5 was an awfully big number in my opinion for a total. Yeah. But then again, I mean, nothing will get, the Orioles find a way, they give away runs at times, and nothing will get that total up there like giving away runs. And they do it far too often. And yeah, I mean, it's probably, I was stubborn. I went back to the well with them last night. I'll probably be done with the Orioles for the time being, especially if they're going to be, like Bryan said, priced the way they are. All right, let's go back to the chat. Let's see. Well, I mean, I guess because I don't have one teed up, do either of you guys know where you want to go for your parlay leg?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead, Bryan.
Okay. We're going to go a lot of different ways to play this one. The Yankees are playing at Washington today. Washington traditionally doesn't do as well in first games of series when they're at home, but still, we've got two lefties here with the Weathers and Palmquist. Palmquist will go in for an inning or two, and then between the two of us, between the three of us, we think Littell will get the bulk of the innings here. It's all these games are on the evening card, so we'll get plenty of time to get explanations on what's going on there. But we're assuming Littell will go. We assumed on another game yesterday and for the Yankees, and they didn't even start the pitcher that we thought was going to start and ended up not playing at all.
Bryan, I don't think he could get there. Like,
is that what it was?
He was in Buffalo, and he would have had to make it down to Tampa, and I think they just decided it was just like too much of a kind of a logistical issue. Yeah, it's funny how that works sometimes.
Yeah, it does. We're doing the show this early in the morning, and a lot of things change. Yesterday, one of them changed just on the show. We were talking about the A's game, and all of a sudden they had an opener. But yeah, we've got Weathers and Palmquist. Weathers is about a 155, 160 favorite here. That's a little high, isn't it? Weathers is not having a good season. Washington has hit lefties very well. I'm looking for a way to either play Washington here or the over of some sort. And I think that what I'm going to look at here is the team total. I know a lot of people don't play team totals, but I think they're a very good source of winning. And if you can't play it, play Washington. But we're looking at Washington's team total is 4.5 to the under 35, which means you're getting plus money back with Washington to score 5 runs. The Yankees, they had to use their bullpen a lot, although in fact, everybody in the Yankees bullpen pitched yesterday except for Bednar and Cruz, their two best relievers. So they've got guys that are probably going to come in here in the second of a back-to-back. That's never a good thing when you've got mediocre, average bullpen arms. So I think Washington is going to get on the scoreboard here and have a lot of success. If you take a look at what Washington has done from a hitting standpoint, they've got 4 guys that are hitting in the top 100 over the last 7 days. James Wood, number 5. Luis Garcia, one of the most underrated players in baseball, if you ask me. He's hitting number 4. Abrams is hitting 18. So you've got the top of the order. We can also look for a Yurfee if you're looking at that. But the guys at the top of the order hitting very well, and from the bullpen standpoint, they were one of the teams that had yesterday off. And I like to play offensively teams that have that extra day to prepare, that extra day off. And so we're going to play the team total over the 4.5 plus 105, but I'm fine with it at plus 100 regardless. And I think Washington has some success. Why are the Yankees this big of a favorite? I don't understand.
We've come on and pretty much brought it up every day. The Yankees come up on the show for the past month. Without Aaron Judge, this is so far this year, I believe the record is now after yesterday's win 15-19. It's about a 442, 441 win percentage. If you're sitting there, Tokyo Brandon, and you're like, well, 34 games is not a big enough sample. Well, if you go back to the beginning of 2021, you have an 120 game sample where he has not played, and the Yankees win percentage in that period of time is still like 445 or 446. And this is what we talked about yesterday. Yeah, the Yankees ended up winning yesterday, and that's going to happen, but they're still getting priced like the full strength Yankees, yeah, we have a pretty big sample showing that without Aaron Judge, they're pretty much a 500 team. So, yeah, I think Brian's onto something here.
Yeah, they're a 500 team that drops the ball a lot. And looking at, the Yankees were just ice cold coming into the week. And even to start the week, ice cold. And then they've had a couple games where their bats are starting to wake up. Looking at Weather's history against these Washington batters and Littell's history against these Yankee batters, they have both gotten pretty lit up in their history. I am going to look for an over in this one. I mean, if I had to bet a side, I agree with you guys. I'd probably take Washington plus 1.5, but that bullpen is bad. And I don't know. Ryan Weathers is weird. I mean, he's got great command and control. He's only walking 27% of the guys he's striking out, yet I have him ranked in the bottom 1/3 of pitchers. I really liked him when he pitched for Miami, but since he's gone to New York, he's kind of Sonny Gray. He was good everywhere else but New York. It's kind of weird. But I think over would be the way I would look rather than pick a side here, because I just can't trust that bullpen, and the Yankees bats seem to start to be waking up a little bit. So I think we can get to 10 here.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with runs here. Like at some point, I mean, you got 9 innings. You got the Nationals bullpen's always an issue. The Yankees bullpen did have some usage this week, but then it's like, I mean, the Nationals, Tokyo Brandon, I mean, you were talking about Nats team totals back in March, it seemed like early April. And all this team has done, and then I guess this just supports Brian's angle a little bit more. All this team has done is rake all season long. Right now, coming into play today, Washington is 4th in the league, WRC plus 108. They're 3rd in WOBA, weighted on base average. They're 3rd with a 332 that's only behind the Dodgers and then the Pirates, who seem to still be up there in every offensive category. Point is, they can hit, the Yankees can hit. You might not see top tier pitching on either side. So yeah, I can't really put you guys off either an over in TB's case or a team total over in Brian's case. Brian, did you say you're getting plus money on over 4.5?
Yeah, the current numbers right now are minus 135 on the team totals on the under. You're actually seeing where did we go? You're actually seeing 140 at one place, but most of the places are minus 135. So with the juice, yeah, you're getting you don't have to lay any juice, and you only got to score 5 runs here.
Yeah, we've got Michael in the chat says he just got over 4.5 plus 110 at Circa. So obviously shop it around. But that seems like a good deal right there. 5 runs and you're getting plus money to do it. So that is Brian's parlay leg. National team total over 4.5 plus 105. TB, I'll give it to you. If you want to close out the parlay now, we're going to head back to the chat for one more at some point. But if you want to go parlay leg now, we can do that.
I absolutely do. And it's a game we have not talked about, I'm pretty sure. I made that mistake before. Going to go to Atlanta versus the Cardinals. We got Chris Sale going against Leahy, and what a huge advantage, pitching advantage this is. We got a guy Chris Sale's another guy who seems like he's been in the league forever. Doesn't seem to be aging very much. Let's take a look at how old Chris Sale is. He's 37. So yeah, he is getting up there. It's getting a little long in the tooth there. Taking a look at how he does against the St. Louis Cardinals in his career. It doesn't really matter because we know he's good. Not enough sample size here. Leahy has not been very good. I mean, he's got more than 11 starts under his belt and still a 1.45 whip. Not good. And I don't know why Atlanta was an underdog to Pittsburgh yesterday. Atlanta's clearly a better team. And they're clearly a better team than St. Louis, in my opinion. Although both pitchers have pretty good command and control. They're both within the range of the walk rate. But Leahy's been giving up some hard contact, as shown by his high whip. And Sale has not. So both bullpens, I got them ranked dead even at 20. And I got Atlanta with a pretty big hitting advantage here. Although the Cardinals were red hot last week, they're starting to cool off a little bit now. So Atlanta is going to be the leg of my parlay. I think it's a minus 168, something like that.
Yeah, TB. I think it's time for.
Sorry, I just want to say
go ahead.
before everyone jumps on me, this is a parlay leg. It's not like I would give out to my clients, like make them pay for a play for 168. This is a parlay leg. So give me a break.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, we can obviously we'll use that in the parlay. We can talk about it in the context of would you lay the run? Would you lay the 1.5? I mean, here's my thing. I don't think you're wrong about like how many more opportunities are you going to get to fade Leahy as a starter? Like he's got to be headed to the bullpen at some point. I just don't think the starting experiment with him, because this was a guy that was in the bullpen for years. They want to put him in the starting rotation. This year so far as a starter, expected ERA is up like 5.56. One of the worst expected batting averages in the league. He's giving up a ton of hard hit. I mean, you're the Cardinals. Like you've got some interesting guys that could fill this rotation spot. You got Quinn Matthews, who's starting to return to form after an injury at the AAA level. He was one of their high draft picks. There's another kid, Molina. They just called up from AA. He might not spend a ton of time at AAA. So, Bryan, is TB onto something here? Is Leahy on his way out of this rotation, and do you take advantage of that one more time?
Well, he may have been. I don't think he is now. The last 2 weeks, he's ranked as the 16th best starting pitcher or 16th best pitcher in baseball. He's on a nice run on the season, 97th, which isn't terrible, but it is the fourth highest starter rank on their staff. Liberators at 140. So, and then yesterday, Palante got bombed, but I like him a little bit better. I do like the bullpen situation a little bit better for Washington. Although with Sale, you don't normally need that, but we've seen some guys having really good years that have blown up in the last week. Philadelphia's ace. Yesterday, Tampa Bay. One of my losers, or the only loser in the parlay. He's been great all season long. He got blown up yesterday, so it does happen. But Atlanta's hitting very well right now. They've got a lot of guys hitting very well. They've got 6 guys right now in the top 100, so they are coming in here pretty hot. But take a look at the bullpen usage. The last 2 days, they've had to use the bullpen a lot. So I know we're expecting Sale to go 7 innings, but if he can only get 5 or 6 second half of the game, I kind of like Washington. So for myself, we're looking at Atlanta. By the way, TB, you can easily get 160, so it's a little bit better than what you saw earlier. You
keep saying Washington, you mean St. Louis, right?
Well, I'm saying, I'm sorry. Yeah, St. Louis, Atlanta. You can get Atlanta at minus the 160 range as opposed to what you had mentioned earlier. So there is some money coming in on St. Louis, and hey, they've been a team that has been a very good underdog all season long. But yeah, I like Atlanta. I just don't want to lay this number, so I'm going to pass. But I do like some things that St. Louis has going for him today.
I just about fell out of my chair when I saw that Kyle Leahy's ERA is only 3.86.
Yeah.
His advanced stats are not nearly as good, but he's getting away with it. Maybe we see another outlet or something. Who knows?
He's lucky. And Adam, you made a good point. You made a good point on a show, maybe 2 shows ago, as we're approaching the All-Star break. Quirky things can happen. So, I mean, look, Christopher Sanchez got blown up, and some good pitchers are getting blown up. Ohtani might get blown up. We don't know. So
never know.
Yeah, it's a dangerous number, I think, but I'm using it for the parlay. Damn it.
Yeah, it is an interesting game. I guess for me, I will have nothing personally in that game, but I see such a massive gulf between expected and what Leahy's numbers are. Like he's a guy that I will look to fade at some point if they continue to trot him out in the starting rotation. I guess what I was saying just before we move on from this game, I think the Cardinals being in as a competitive of a spot as they are in, will likely look to upgrade that position in the rotation, whether it's in-house with some of these exciting arms that they have in Memphis. Your first half International League champions, the Memphis Redbirds, have some good arms down there, or going out and getting a guy. I can't see them rolling with
I don't see them. I don't see the Cardinals making a move for that. They've got, they'll be minor leaguers if they play. They're not going to go out and spend money. They're trying to rebuild right now, and they just happen to be playing better than they expected.
Yeah, my guess is down the line you're going to see Quinn Matthews. That's their guy. That's the high draft pick. He was hurt last year, so he's about a year behind schedule, and he's finally really throwing it well at the minor league level. So. At any rate, TV's going to go with the Braves. That'll close out the parlay, but we've got one more game here to talk about. I'm going to go to the chat, and let's grab another game. Let's see one at random right here. A lot of people asking about the same games. A lot of people asking about games that we've already talked about. So let's I will find one, though. I will find one at random. All right, here's one. I got one. I got one. Bryan Leonard, your Guardians got it done for me yesterday. Much appreciated. You gave me the nudge that I needed to get there with a second client play yesterday afternoon, and they did not disappoint. They got it done, and now they hit the road to take on the red hot Miami Marlins. I hope you listened on this show back on June 16th when I said, hey, let's jump in with the Marlins plus 900 to make the playoffs, because I think they are
the date.
I had it written down. So I could go clip it at some point. They are playing unbelievable baseball, but now they come in off of a sweep of the Mariners, and the Guardians are I think they got some momentum from yesterday's win. Were you surprised to see your Guardians as an underdog here?
No, but I think there may be a little bit of value on them. I kind of like the under here. We're looking at Messick, the lefty, against Alcantara for Miami. Miami's about a 115 favorite with a total of 7.5 to the under or 7 to the over. And if you can get that 7.5 to the under, I think that's not a bad deal here, because I think Messick, Miami hadn't seen him, and he's the lefty. Always like that. And Cleveland is not a team that's going to score a lot of runs. They've actually been outperforming offensively, I believe, and I don't think that will continue. I still expect them to, if they can score 4 runs in a game, that's a good game for them. And in this one, they're probably going to have to score 4 with a total of 7.5 to get this victory. I do like the Cleveland bullpen. Like I said the other day, just a couple days ago, they had blown up. They looked terrible. That is an anomaly for them. They've been very good in the bullpen. Miami's a team that I like everything about Miami, and they're playing well right now. But if you're going to give me 2026 Messick against 2026 Alcantara, I think that's an advantage for Cleveland. So slightly into Cleveland, but I do like this under the 7.5. I think we're going to see a lower scoring game.
Yeah, Tokyo Brandon, when you win at the rate the Marlins have been winning, you start to use up some bullpen as well. So one of the things that I sort of looked at coming into this game was, the Marlins, they've been winning. They've been winning sort of walk-off, close type games. They've needed their bullpen a lot these days. They have a nice deep bullpen in terms of, like, it's almost like everyone is good. Like, they don't have the big time leverage arms, but they have like a collection of very, very good bullpen arms. But that was one thing I noted about this. I personally prefer Messick to Alcantara, so I prefer the Guardians in this spot. How are you seeing Guardians Marlins?
Yeah, Messick, I do have him ranked about 6 ranks higher than Alcantara, but Miami plays really well when Alcantara pitches. I got bullpens pretty even here. But hitting is where these teams, I think, separate quite a bit. Miami's hitting number 2, where the Guardians hitting number 22. I kind of agree with the tight, low total. But it's hard to go against a team that's 31-17 at home, going against a team that's basically breaking even on the road. Despite Messick being up there, Alcantara is 10-4, you guys. I mean, that's pretty hard to deny. I would go Marlins if I had to bet it, but it's hard to bet against Parker Messick because he's been pitching really well. but he has lost 5 games. So he does lose games sometimes, guys. So I don't know. I would lean Miami, but yeah, this will probably be one of those 2-1 kind of games. I have a feeling.
Yeah, like my numbers showed some slight value to the Guardians as an underdog, but like I really haven't been looking to fade the Marlins. As you guys know, I'm very high on that team, and it's they're gonna probably fade. This is a good. We'll wrap it up on this talking point. I think the Marlins coming out of the break are going to be a team that maybe you want to fade a little bit. We see this every year. We see this every year. A team goes into the break hotter than the sun. They get that 4 days off, and suddenly, like they struggle to get that same mojo after the break. And that's
Detroit
the
Tigers.
Marlins. Last year's Tigers,
Sorry
yeah, great example.
Sorry to
they won. No, I'm glad you did, because that is like the best sort of comparison, where they came into the All-Star break on a similar run and they could not get out of their own way coming out of the break. The reason it's important is Marlins coming out of the break, suddenly all the stuff's going to recalibrate and they're going to be priced like a team that can win that division, a playoff team. They're right in the mix. It'll be very interesting to see if they can keep that up post break. And again,
another similarity. Oh, sorry. Another similarity is they're kind of a no-name team, kind of like the Tigers were last year as well. You know, I mean, you'd be hard pressed to name 5 guys in their lineup, right? So, I mean, we could, but general public probably doesn't know anyone in their lineup. And same with the Tigers, right? So,
right. Does anyone know Otto Lopez is basically, Mickey Mantle right now? Probably.
He's leading, he's leading the league in hitting, I believe. He and Arias.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be absolutely something to look at. And it's because suddenly they're going to come out of the break. They're going to have expectations now, and the price is going to shift. So good thing. Probably the most important thing that came from that handicap of that game. Keep your eye on that. There's probably going to be some really good opportunities to play against them a week from now. All right. Before I go, I gotta promote the 1-day flash sale that they're having on my page. It's coupon code Adam30. I have a 5% play up for sale. You can use it on that. I think it's better served using it on the long-term stuff, because very rare. This WagerTalk give you 30% off. And again, I had a great football season last year. Any of the long-term all access stuff is going to include football. And, you go the rest of the year, it'll take us right into college basketball season as well. Do either of you have stuff up on your page for sale right now?
I don't have anything up. And like I said, everything is on the evening card. I'm going to take the next couple hours here and whittle it down. Like I said, I think it's a pretty strong card overall, and I'll have everything up later. I'm sure I'll have a 4%, at least a 3, but probably a 4 on today's card.
I do believe if you want to use the double play and you get it from my page, it will give you the 30% off with that coupon code. It's just something that the system can't figure out to not do it. So it's like, it's just, it's a little hack right there. It's a little glitch. Yeah.
I have 3 plays out in MLB today, so I'm sure Bryan will too. So yeah, a double play would be a great thing to use today and take advantage of the glitch. And don't tell the home office.
Yeah, listen, I'll say this again. If you're if you're buying picks, I understand everyone that watches the show. Just some people just watch the show, do their own work, come and that's totally fine. We appreciate you being here. We'd love a like or subscribe or a comment on the YouTube channel. But we appreciate you being here. But if you are going to buy, it's imperative that you find a way to get a discounted rate, in my opinion. So whether it's the double play or taking advantage of a coupon to do longer term, you want to get that cost per day as low as you possibly can, because the less money you spend on picks, the less that's coming out of your, the less net you're going to, it's coming out of your, the less ROI you need. I don't know if I said that correctly. I'm again,
more money in your bankroll.
More money in your bankroll. The energy drink just kicked in and now I'm all over the place,
And remember, tomorrow, guys, we're 1 hour later.
Yeah, tomorrow we're 1 hour later, and we are we're working out a potential Sunday show. So I will have an update for you on tomorrow's show, whether we're going to do that show for you on Sunday, just to send it off for the first half. That's our show for today. Our parlay is as follows. Tokyo Brandon is going Braves minus 160. That's full game. I'm going to go Astros minus 135. That's full game. And Bryan Leonard is going Nationals team total over 4.5 plus 105. All full game bets. That's Astros money line, Braves money line, Nationals team total over 4.5 plus 105. Remember, an hour later tomorrow, because it's Saturday, we'll be back 10 a.m. Eastern before our last call for more total bases. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow.